Solid build with subpar internals. Now that's something we've seen from Samsung in the past. But a flagship chip, flagship experience at a not so flagship price, we've not really seen that. The Galaxy S10 Lite is a result of Samsung's reaction to increased competition from the likes of OnePlus, and I've been using this phone as my primary smartphone for over a week now. So how is it held up? Is it every bit as good as it seems to be on paper? Or are there any caveats you need to know before you drop 40,000 rupees for it? Well, that is what we're going to find out in today's video. Hey guys, Ash here from C4E Tech, and if you do end up liking what you see in this video, subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's now get this review started. Guys, I'm currently giving away a Galaxy S10 Lite and also a Galaxy Note 10 Lite. To know more about these giveaways, do check out the link in the description below. So first, let's start with the highlight of this phone, the chip inside. In the past, for the Lite versions of their flagship phones, Samsung's kinda cheaped out on the internals. But that is not the case here. This phone, for this, Samsung has kinda gone with a genuine top-of-the-line flagship chip in the form of the Snapdragon 855. And for those comparing the 855 with the 855 Plus, here's a small snippet from my OnePlus 7T comparison video. Now, with the CPU, the 855 Plus has very little to offer over the 855. Just a 4% boost with single-threaded applications, negligible improvements with multi-core applications. With the GPU though, there is a 15% boost. That said, there's nothing out there that can push the 855 to the max anyway. We did try running quite a few games on the S10 Lite, and no matter what it is, there were no issues. The performance was flawless, no throttling, no heating. This solid Snapdragon 855 SoC, it's paired with 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of onboard storage. The hybrid slot allows for memory expansion if need be. The day-to-day performance here was also quite exemplary, and that's not just due to the solid hardware. Samsung have also upped their software game here. Again, there's been a change in the trends. Usually, Samsung hold on to their new Android versions and software upgrades, especially when there's a major launch around the corner. Now, despite the upcoming Galaxy S20 lineup, the S10 Lite has launched with One UI 2.0 and Android 10. This is a much refined interface. Whether it's grouping certain notifications into silent notifications, or showing more quick toggles when expanded thanks to the reduced clock size, or the permissions pop-up showing up at the bottom of the screen for easier single-handed usage, or even tapping on an icon in the recent app screen causing options to pop up from the bottom of the screen for the same reason. Like this, there's a lot of attention to detail Samsung seems to have paid here. And the speed up as well, it's noticeable. Even coming from another Samsung flagship, which is not on One UI 2.0, the S10 Lite felt quite snappy. Additionally, there is support for full-fledged Samsung Pay, and the software, barring the depreciated Pro mode for the camera, it's quite the no-compromise flagship experience. Where there have been compromises though, it's gotta be with the build. Unlike the competition in this segment, Samsung has not gone with a glass build. Instead, they've chosen to go plastic. It's supposed to be a combination of glass and plastic. This is one way they've kept the costs low and also managed to demarcate the Lite lineup from the regulation S10 series. Now, Glastic has its own pros and cons. Pros, it feels good in hand. It's supposed to be tougher than plastic, so more resistant to scratches. It's also lighter than glass, so the phone, despite the size of the screen and the 4500 mAh battery, it's still about 185 grams. To give you some perspective, the Note 10 Plus with a 200 mAh smaller capacity battery, it's 10 grams heavier. The OnePlus 7T with a 700 mAh lower capacity battery and a 0.15-inch smaller display, it's about 5 grams heavier. On the cons side, Glastic is still not glass, right? So it's gonna pick up more scratches than a phone that has a glass back. And even the display here, it seems to pick up more scratches than normal. So with the S10 Lite, using a case and maybe even a tempered glass screen protector should be a good idea. Now, barring this, the display, it's actually quite good. This is an Infinity O panel, the punch hole to the center. It leads to a pretty high screen-to-body ratio. Here we have a 32-megapixel selfie camera that shoots well-detailed selfies with natural skin tones. Coming back to the Super AMOLED Infinity O panel, the resolution is Full HD+, and it comes with the traditional AMOLED characteristics. So it's a pretty solid panel. Samsung's even provided the usual always-on functionality here. At 6.7 inches, this display is great for media consumption. Now, I would have loved to see stereo speakers, but the single speaker, it's pretty decent. The fact that there is no headphone jack, now that is a bummer. Under the display, we find an optical fingerprint scanner, and it is noticeably slower and less accurate than others in the segment. It drove me nuts for the first few days. I slowly did get used to it, so you can say it gets the job done. I guess you could say that. The 4500 mAh battery, that's insane though. Brands generally exaggerate their battery life claims, but not this time. The S10 Lite, it really does offer 2-day battery life, with moderate use of course. Now getting through a couple of days on a single charge, it was a real possibility. I did have multiple instances where I did manage to get through 2 days, and the included 25-watt charger also helped with real quick top-ups. Now on the same page that says 2-day battery, it also says pro-grade camera. How accurate is that claim? Well, we have a triple camera setup to the back. The primary is a 48 megapixel sensor with a f2 lens, which is optically stabilized. Under good light, the performance is excellent. The colors are natural, the dynamic range is nothing to complain about. The images that came out well detailed. Under low light, Samsung backs up their pro-grade claims with the S10 Lite continuing to impress. The dedicated night mode, it couples with a new hardware-based Super Steady OIS to capture excellent shots like this. Super Steady OIS is basically where the sensor and the lens both move to compensate for shake. So the images, they're brighter, the detail levels, they're quite good. The secondary, it's a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, it's got a wide field of view and it does well too. Samsung offers night mode support for this sensor as well. And the third camera is a 5 megapixel macro option, letting us get quite close to the subject. As far as videos go, there is support for 4K 60 FPS, and here Super Steady OIS once again helps compensate for shake. Where OIS regularly compensates to up to 1 degree of shake, Super Steady OIS compensates for as much as 3 degrees. So now if you want even more compensation, if you want even more stability, you could go for the software stabilized 1080p. Additionally, live focus video returns. So overall, with cameras, excluding the Pro mode, which is sadly not the full version, which is ironic for cameras that are marketed as Pro grade, with the exception of that, the hardware and software here appear to be top notch. Samsung seem to have done extremely well. Now with all that said and done, let's talk pricing. The Galaxy S10 Lite currently retails for 40,000 rupees, and there's even a 3,000 rupee cashback offer for ICICI cards. At this price point, Samsung's got a lot going on for this phone. The S10 Lite has a great looking display, excellent optics, snappy software, strong hardware, a long-lasting battery that's also capable of charging quick. You're gonna have to use an included case and tempered glass with it. Yes, that is a con, but if that is okay with you, if that's something you can get to look past, then this is the best value for money S-series flagship Samsung have ever offered. If you are even slightly interested in picking up a flagship Samsung phone, you should most definitely consider getting this one. At least that's my 2 cents. So, what do you think? Do you agree with my conclusion? Do you agree with my thoughts on the Galaxy S10 Lite? Leave a comment down below, do let me know. And with that, we get to the end of this review. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. And thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.